Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. When the mind is identified with a finite, limited, it becomes a load on the mind. When the mind is entertaining the theme that is infinite, the mind dissolves. Dissolved mind is consciousness. And therefore, if we want to invoke the strength of mind, the only way is that the mind must get back to its original status called as consciousness. Mind minus finitude is equal to consciousness. Consciousness plus the element of limitations is mind. This is a simple equation. And therefore, all the practice to invoke the inner strength of the mind is to liberate the mind from the finite and merge it with the infinite. Now for that, what is to be done and how it can be achieved? For that, let us see, as we can see our eyes, our nose, our ears, we cannot see our mind. Mind is recognized from the effects. Which are those effects which will determine the presence of mind? First, when the mind is identified with the gross body, that time a sense of limited existence prevails and a notion is developed that only this body I am and other bodies I am not. The truth is, consciousness expressing through any body as mind is just a phenomenon. There is no place for I versus you. But when the mind gets identified with one particular body, immediately it gathers a status of individuality. Then there are two motions. One motion is a general motion, and second is the individual motion. To understand this, let us take an example. You must have seen in the huge lakes where the water is stagnant, there are no whirlpools. But when the rivers are flooded and the flat sheet of water is flowing towards the ocean, in that general movement of the waters, there are whirlpools. So there are two kinds of movements. One is the general movement, and what is that general movement? Mind expresses through the eyes as vision, mind expresses through the ears as hearing ability, and so on. That is the general movement of the total waters in one direction. In the frozen rivers or in the stagnant waters, where there is no movement, it is the deep sleep state. No identification with any finite. Now, the second movement in that total movement of the water is the individual movement of the whirlpool. And that movement is centripetal, not centrifugal. As a result, anything which is entering in that centripetal force of the water is drawn inside. In the same manner, life is like the general flow of waters in which each body is creating a kind of a whirlpool, and all the thinking is centripetal. I and mine, I and mine. And in that experience, we get drawn, we get completely lost. And thereafter, the life is nothing but struggle. And what is the struggle? We want to get out of that centripetal pull. And that is why we go to sleep, even in the satsang. See, the moment we enter sleep, what we do is only disidentification from the gross body. Now this we don't have to believe. This is the experience of every one of us. Now after having understood the first step, now the second step. The total waters which are flowing in one direction, they are a huge force, tremendous energy. And that small little whirlpool is also an energy, but it is a destructive force, drowning us to extinction. In the same manner, when the mind is associated with individual body, it is a destructive experience. How simple it is. Now after this is done, the second thing, what happens? So when I get identified, or the mind gets identified with one particular body, thereafter the thinking will be only with reference to that body alone. And what will be the thinking? The thinking will be, I am finite. Alpe sukham nasti, Chandogya Upanishad tells. In the finite there is no bliss. In the finite there are struggles producing blisters. And we keep on struggling. And what is our struggle? Struggle is seeking happiness. The most miserable search is the search for happiness. Whether it is in the material world or it is in the spiritual world, both the places people are miserable. They become miserable to such an extent. In Bombay it happened, once I was in Prempuri Ashram. So before the lecture I go to their common place where all the people are there. Hello, hello, have a sip of water. Sip of water, oh, a sip of water, and then I come down for the lecture. So there was one Mahatma Ji, I don't remember his name. He said, Swamiji, I have heard you. I said, thank you very much. But I had to tell you something because I am elder than you. This has happened long time back. What is that? Whether it is Gita, Upanishad, or Patanjali Yoga Darshan, or Panchadashi, anything you talk, you make everything be happy, be happy. This is not spirituality. I said, okay, everything is be miserable, be miserable. Is this the spirituality? See, it is very clearly to be understood. If we are seeking bliss on the path of bliss, there are no miseries. those who are experiencing misery on the path of God realization, they are going the wrong way. To attain immortality, mortality is not one of the stations in between. To attain infinite bliss, frustration, misery, crying, that is not the way. See? Therefore, when the mind gets identified with one particular body, this notion that I is finite and therefore seeking happiness, that urge to seek happiness is called as desire. See? Nobody desires for miseries, isn't it? They get, that's a different issue. That's, something different we are not talking about. So this urge for happiness is the desire. Once the desire bubbles in the mind, there is no peace. As a result, the struggle begins. And what is the struggle? Expression of the struggle of desire is action. And the actions will be according to the level of our foolishness. I imagine that there is happiness in this particular thing. I imagine. In fact, it is not. But I imagine. It is my imagination which propels me to struggle to get that object. So these are the three things which happen. First, identification with the gross body creates a notion of finite existence. To get rid of the finite existence, attain the infinite, the bliss, the urge is the desire, and the desire will never allow you to keep quiet. You will be engaged into activities. See? And when we struggle, it is a tragedy for us and comedy for the world. Isn't it? So we keep on struggling. And we slowly gather experiences. But we don't learn from the experiences of our life. Now this is very important point. If we want to invoke the inner strength the mind is. We all have had many desires in our childhood. And when those desires were not fulfilled, how miserable we were. Then we got our desire fulfilled. How long that fulfillment of the desire remained? Only for a fraction of moment. Again, another, like on your computer screen, another pop-up comes. And that pop-up comes from nowhere. You don't require a software to get the pop-up, isn't it? It comes. But I have not fitted any software here. How can this pop? It comes. They keep on coming. And you may don't look at it, but out of the non-stop pops coming, at one you look, kya hai, kya hai? And you click and you are caught. See. And thus, when our mind is desiring, we struggle, get our desires fulfilled, but we don't learn. As a result, one desire is fulfilled, goes away. Then, again, second desire. The same thing is repeated again and again. The second desire is fulfilled. Do we learn? No. The third desire, the fourth desire. In childhood, we were having a desire for the marbles. In the old days, We have desires for the marble flooring. Then marble is still there. See how funny it is. And yet we don't learn. And when we don't learn, nature plays its tricks. We get sometimes such experiences which shake our very foundation of life. You all must have dreamt number of times. When the dreams are wonderful, good, they never break. Suppose you are sitting on a Honda motorcycle and you are in Switzerland. Mere sapne ki rani kab aayegi tu. And one Hondi is sitting behind. And you are enjoying. Such a dream will never break. But when you are driving, your motorcycle skids and you go down the valley, immediately your dream breaks. Thank God it was a dream. Isn't it? Now be very attentive. Dream was an illusion. The joy in the dream was an illusion. The accident in the dream was also an illusion. But the illusion of the dream can be destroyed by the illusion of the accident alone. In the same manner, in our waking experiences, we are so preoccupied with the life, we have no time even to think and find out how the whole life is being lived. And in that beautiful waking dream, we continue. And then, like it happened to the great saint Tulsidas, he was such an unfortunate person. He never had a feminine love in his life, right from birth onwards. He was about 20-25, got married. For the first time, he came in contact with a woman's touch. So much involved with his wife. And when she went to her Maika, and he was satsangi. He came from his satsang, found wife is not there. Like a Hindi cinema hero. It was terribly raining. Ganges were on floods. And not caring for anything. When the dead body was flowing on the Ganges, flooded, he sat on that, crossed the other side, and from the window, he entered the room of his beloved wife. If she would have been today's model, the dialogues would have been different. She said, "How mad you are after this dirty, filthy thing called as body, made up of bones and skins and all blood and vessels? Are you not ashamed?" This much was enough for Tulsidas ji. He went back. And out of that ordinary katha, Vachak, a great saint was born. See, the dream was broken. How many wives must have said this dialogue to how many husbands, and how many Tulsidas are born, and how many Devdas are born. See, we get out of one dream, enter into another dream. Friends, it is very essential to know that we live our life in awareness, not a mechanical like an animal. Technically, animal is called as Pashu. Pashu means Pashyati iti Pashu. The one who only sees doesn't think. So if there is a beautiful grass, nice lawn, and beautiful flower beds, and if a buffalo is going, we will not think about anything, go and stand. That's it. In the same manner, we human beings, we have done so many things in our life, but have we learned from our life's experiences or not? And once we take this position, that life is not merely leading like an animal. We are alive because there is no strength to die. That's all. One day I was having a nice cup of tea in my place in Bombay. I make my black tea myself. Perfect combination. And then I enjoy every sip. That is my tea meditation. So I was enjoying. And that time one lady came. Swamiji, what are you doing? I said, I was waiting for death. No. Why do you say like that? I said, no, the waiting is over. You have come. Dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavati. So, she said, how do you say that we are waiting for death? I said, tell me what we are doing. Be very sincere to yourself. Every morning we get up for what? अच्छा आज फिर जिंदा उठ गया. Again, through the whole day we live, we go to sleep hoping that we will not get up. But again we get up. One day when this clicked my mind, I was so happy. From that day onwards, I have started living on daily wage basis. आज का दिन जी लो, कल किसने देखा है. I was in Hisar, long time back, staying in a very old political family of some Bhargavas. He was one of the first Home Minister of India. So, in that family I was staying, very old kind of mansion kind of house. And there used to be one old Dadima, Nanima, and the child was very fond of that Dadima. So every morning he will go and wake her up. Dadima, get up now, what is this? Then she will get up, and when she is to sleep, she is to remove her denture. So then she will say, okay beta, get my teeth, and then he will give the teeth. That was the routine every morning. One morning she got up, he got up, and went to wake up his Dadima. So she was sleeping, and he pulled. So she turned because of his pull. And the dentures were in her mouth. And they are like that. Dadima! And the denture fell down. Because she was already dead. And then this child was frightened. See what she is doing. So everything was over. Then he was told she died. That day onward, he refused to sleep. See, when somebody sleeps, people die. See what kind of impression he has got. So we are all the day trying to get out of this world, but again we wake up and again we start with the same thing. Friends, if we are making use of this opportunity given to us, then only we can invoke the inner strength called as mind. Upanishad says, इह चेद अवेदीत अथ सत्यम अस्ति न चेद इह अवेदीत महति विनष्टि. There was a Sethji who told his Munimji, hey, go and get a very good costly computer. So Munimji went and got it. ये क्या क्या कर सकता है रे? He can do many things. He can do good. For example, he said, okay, for example, totals can be made, 2 rupees 50 paisa sabji, 5 rupees dhobi, like that, see. Oh, very good. Thereafter that Sethji was using the computer only for totaling 5-6 digit figures. That's. Now that computer, which can do so much, you are using only for the calculator's work, like most of the people, they buy expensive cell phones. And all the functions which are inside are never used. Only for either receiving the phone or answering the phone, or at the most start and take a picture. Beyond that, they don't go. Why? Because they don't know how to use it. The same thing happens. There is tremendous potentiality in every one of us. To invoke that potentiality is to utilize the mind to the fullest. And for that, we must know the functioning of the mind. Therefore, this mind, when identified with the gross body, starts having a notion, this much I am, desire, action, fulfillment, not fulfillment. And this goes on and on and on. And by God's grace, one of the experiences, the motorcycle skids. अब दिल ही टूट गया तो, we get some kind of kick, some kind of frustration, and then we start re-evaluating our life. See, there was a great saint, Sufi saint, he used to say, I came across this saint in 60s. That was my first close interaction with a spiritual person. 60s or early 60s. So he used to tell, I still remember this couplet. ये वही दर्द दिल है जो उनको पाता है. ये वही दर्द दिल है जो उनको पाता है. खुदा भला करे उनका जो दिल दुखाता है. How beautiful it is. We are so preoccupied with the so-called happiness of this world, where we have time to pause, to re-evaluate one's life. There is no time. Mundakopanishad says, Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamayat na asti akrutaha krutena tad vijnanartham gurumeva vigachet samit panihi shrotriyam brahmanishtam. Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamayat. If we pause for a moment and re-evaluate our own life lived so far, what will be the conclusion? When we were not in this world, nothing was lacking. When we will leave this world, nothing will be lacking. Our presence in this world has no meaning at all. See? Kathopanishad tells, Sasyamimartyaha pachyate sasyamiva jayate punaha. Like the grass we grow, like the grass we perish. Is this all life? Think. So when we pause for a moment and re-evaluate our total life, so far what we have done. See? Converting, once one person asked me in US, he was from some philosophical department. Swami, I have come to take your interview. I am working on a project, concept of man in different cultures. So I want to know, what is the concept of man in your culture? I said, note down. Man is a machine converting the good food into filth. Isn't it? What else? Our Swami Akhandananda used to say, anything that comes out of our body is not worthy of mentioning in public. Isn't it? if something can come out of body of which we are proud of, is divine expression, not the same dirty expression. And for that, we have to become introvert as to how the whole life is lived. See, when you want to study your mathematics, physics, your medicine, etc., at least during that period of study, you have to withdraw from the world, is it not? But when it comes to studying our own mind, we don't appreciate that you have to withdraw. Without that capacity, we straight away go and sit on the seat of meditation, and we want to do meditation. Meditation for stress. See, meditation is not meant for any Tom, Dick and Harry. Can we say that a person having a polio, second was having a spondylosis, third was having a fracture, fourth one was having a hip dislocation, fifth was having, sling in the arm. Such a person goes to the gym and you ask that Pahalwan, can you suggest me what kind of exercise I can do? So to that fractured hand, he will say, lift this 200 kilos, you will be all right. As gym is meant for healthy bodies, in the same manner, meditation is meant for healthy minds, not for the diseased minds. Those who are all the time, I don't know what I should do, I am so frustrated, I think I had decided to commit suicide, but there also I failed. Finally I had decided, I want to come with you. That means, when you are absolute failure, you are fit for being Babaji. See? Therefore, let us invoke the health of the mind. Now, what will be the health of the mind? Disease of the mind is, be very attentive. 1, high frequency of thoughts per second. Second, the disease of the mind is the quality of thoughts. And third, the direction of thoughts. When we have to invoke the inner strength of the mind, we have to work on these 3 principles. 1, reduce the frequency of thoughts per second. Now, we are not an individual. It is a poultry farm. Non-stop going on. You watch, this is worth watching. I travel a lot, so many times when I am sitting on the airport, one person asked me, Swamiji, don't you get bored? I said, what is it to get bored? Such a nice cartoon show going on. So they'll be sitting on. You just watch. They just can't keep quiet 1 second. Why? The inside, there is a turmoil going on. So the frequency of thoughts per second has to be reduced. Second, the quality of thoughts. There are 2 types of qualities possible. Those thoughts which take us away from our own self, they are unhealthy thoughts, technically called as vikar. They include kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, desire, anger, frustration, greed, jealousy, envy. So they take us away from our own self. The second quality of thoughts is the vichara, the contemplative thoughts, which are cultivated, nurtured by the study of scriptures. Both are thoughts. One thoughts are, they are the unhealthy aspect of the thoughts. And the second type of thoughts are the thoughts which are sown by the study of scriptures, which are nurtured by the practice of yoga, which are assimilated by the practice of knowledge, and which are experienced as one's own essential nature. All this thing has to be done. See? Then the quality of thoughts will improve. So the first practice to invoke the inner strength is reduce the quantity of thoughts. Second, improve the quality of thoughts. And the third thing, which is the direction in which the mind is running. We normally know only two conditions of the mind. One is multi-pointedness, constantly jumping from one theme to another theme. One moment we are thinking about that, we drop that second, third, fourth, continuously. And as a result, so many windows are open. Isn't it? One day, one person was learning, some elderly man, and he has learned how to open the window and minimize. So he was doing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So many windows he opened. But he could not understand how to close them, and then you can switch off the computer. So he immediately switched it off, and there was some error and all that. He was so frightened. Pata nahi kya ho gaya, gadbadi ho. I said, all the windows that you have opened, बंद कर दी थी क्या? ओह, बंद करनी पड़ती है. विंडो खुली रखोगे तो चोर आएगा. See, so many windows are simultaneously opened, and our mind is in a mess. Those who are not able to sleep are those who have not closed the windows. All the windows are open. Therefore, either our mind is multi-pointed or our mind is zero-pointed. Two extremes. We are extremists. Real achievement is possible when the mind is single-pointed. Now, single-pointed, I told you yesterday. Single-pointed mind means that freedom wherein we can apply our mind to any given job with our free choice. You must have heard in your own houses, your children, hey, why are you not studying? Mood nahi hai. As if it is a very valid reason. But I tell you, this is the only way I have also learned. I go to so many houses and eat food. That is the only business I have got now. So, suppose you praise something is good. Dhada it comes in your plate. Suppose you tell, I really don't want, I am over, I can't take. No, take. This is Tirupati Prasad. Arey Ram. So now, when I was observing how to stop this ammas giving me so many things, and then you will see, if others don't take, they don't care. They don't force them also. But here is a garbage can available. Go on putting. So I was watching. I said, I don't want. No, sorry, please take little. No. I said, okay, give. Next person, take. I don't want. Why? I don't like it. Okay, don't like it. Hey, I got the Maha Mantra. Now, when I don't want to eat, I straight away say, I don't like it. Then they don't give it. See, look here. If you tell the truth, it doesn't work. So, when we are functioning in this world, either multi-pointedness, zero-pointedness, or the mood. And such moody people can achieve nothing in life. Therefore, the last option left is this, that we have to discover a technique by which we are able to freely apply our mind to any given job for any length of time That is called as living in absolute present. So this is achieved by many techniques, and those techniques are called as the self-discipline according to Patanjali Yoga Darshan. And in this, we directly like to jump to meditation. There was one person, a doctor, very well read, very nice, good friend of mine. He heard me somewhere and he phoned me. He got the phone number. Swamiji, where are you? I said, I'm in Bombay. I want to come and meet you. I said, where are you? In Andheri? No, I am in Delhi. I said, don't come. He said, no, I'll come and stay with you. I said, please, God's sake, don't come. I am staying on a tree. Don't come. That is the only reason why I don't have ashram. You know, I have seen those Mahatmas who have got ashram. Their whole life is only looking after. यहाँ पानी नहीं है, वहाँ टैप नहीं है, वहाँ बिजली नहीं है, वहाँ झाड़ू नहीं है. अरे राम राम राम, enough. But then what do? I said, I am coming day after tomorrow to Delhi, you meet me there. So he came. And then he said, Swamiji, I want to spend some time with you. I said, spend, start now. 1, 2, 3, shuru. Spend. I don't know how to talk to you. I said, don't talk. There is no need. No, but I will come with you to Badrinath, you are going. I said, there is no place in the bus. How can I take you? I'll take my car. I said, okay, take it. Then you take your wife also. But she never goes because she gets, that vomission. I said, when I tell, you take, everything will be all right. So she came. Everybody has finished darshan and all that, and he was after me. I will not leave you, Swamiji, unless you give me Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Not ready to leave. So I said, you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi right now. He said, no. I said, how not? Tell me. Vikalpa means option. Have you any option in your mind whether you are a body or not? You are fully rooted in this knowledge that you are a body, is it not? This is called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You are confusing me. I said, yes, that's my method. Then I told him, look here, what is important is this understanding. Anything which begins and ends is worthy of discarding. Be very attentive. That which doesn't begin cannot end. That is the truth. Hold on to that. At this moment, you are neither a man nor a woman, neither rich nor poor, neither in Ahmedabad nor in Bombay. This effortless being is the source of all inner strength. When we merge in this source, even under ignorance, as in deep sleep, and when we again wake up, how fresh we become. So where from that freshness comes? Because the mind which was identified with one individual body, that mind had merged with the total mind. See, in a cup you put 2 teaspoonfuls of salt, it is terribly salty. Now you take 2 teaspoonful of salt and put it in Manas Sarovar and mix it. Not even trace can be recognized. In the same manner, the mind which is freed from the hang-up on a particular body, that mind merges with the total mind. When the mind merges with the total mind, it no more thinks with reference to a body. Be very attentive. Thereafter, the experience is, we are living no more as a body, but we are living through the body. When we start living through the body, but not as the body, infinite is the potentiality. See? And this is possible only by this technique. That mind has to discard the limitations of the body by disidentification. Then only the inner strength is invoked. I'll give an example about it. Now understand the example in the right spirit. Don't take out wrong meanings. Our friends, the terrorists, or those who are committing the suicide attacks, it is easier for us to condemn them. But unless they are ready with their free will to disidentify from the gross body, they cannot take up this job. At the moment they have accepted it, no power in the world can stop them. See? And what is the strength? This is the strength. That after you die, you are killed, you are going to go to heavens. They are so convinced about it that the limitations of the body, the temptations through the body, the experiences of this gross world, they are no more points of attraction for them. Therefore, they are no more living as a body, but they are using the body as a vehicle through which they fulfill their role or their goal, whatever it is. See? Therefore, to invoke the inner strength, the first principle is, we have to recognize our existence as independent of the body. See? And once we know this technique, you will see you work for 8, 10, 15 hours and yet you are ever the fresh. Because tiredness is in matter. Matter perspires, spirit inspires. When we start living at the level of matter, there is nothing but the stink of perspiration. But when we start living in tune with the spirit, there is no end, there is no limit to the achievement in this world. And therefore, this bridge, which is connecting the consciousness and the matter together, on this bridge of mind, we have a choice whether we go towards the world or towards the spirit. See? And when we are thus moving on this bridge from the matter towards the spirit, our life is a life in awareness. And the more we remain in awareness, the more we are in the present. The more we are in the present, the past does not pull us back. The future doesn't destroy us. And the present without the past and the future has no meaning. Present without past and the future is presence. This presence is eternal, uncreated. Living in tune with this eternal presence is the source of all strength and energy. So when we know this, then only we can practice this. See? How much time and energy we spend on getting our worldly degrees. Hey, what you have studied? Swamiji, I have done MBA. What is this MBA, yaar? How you don't know MBA? I know, but what do you understand? MBA means it is, Masters in Business Management, Administration. Oh, that is what I thought, something different. What is that you thought? MBA means Marwadi Business Administration. Do you know what is the Marwadi Business Administration? Boys, this product we have produced for 1 rupee. Our target is, you have to sell this product for 10 rupees. Okay? Go. Now those boys come back and they sell that product for 7 rupees. Sir, nahi, Sethji, we have sold it for 7 rupees. So 1 rupee production cost, 7 rupees we have sold, so 6 rupees profit we have got. No. 3 rupees less. So, in your account, -3. That is called as Marwadi Business Administration. So, all the people are all the time under tension. They can never produce any profit. So, they are living, see, the Sethji ka 3 rupees ka nuksan ho gaya. To get the knowledge of the worldly subjects, how much time, energy we spend. But when it comes to the invocation of the inner strength, the mind, I'm so tired. Gita patni hai beti. Then the legs go on the table and a cup of tea and Gita. Why Krishna talked in Sanskrit? If he was God, he could have well spoken in English. I don't know. Now, with this attitude, we want to study scriptures, and some of us struggle and get it. For what? For quotation. When there are gatherings, see what happens, Gita says, na karmanya adhikaraste. Gupta ji, Gita पढ़ी है क्या? हाँ, तो गीता उपनिषद भी पढ़े हैं. हाँ, गीता उपनिषद ब्रह्मसूत्र भी पढ़े हैं. See, unless you study all these Patanjali yoga, Patanjali भी पढ़ा है. हाँ, पढ़ा है. Is only for telling the world that I have studied, but it is never practiced in life. Kathopanishad, Mundukopanishad talks about such Mahatmas. Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamana dandramyamana pariyanti moodha andhe naiva niyamana yathandha. They are established in ignorance. Established in ignorance means what? Only this world alone is real and there is nothing beyond. And swayam dhiraha panditam manyamana. If you think you are wise, it is okay. But when you start guiding under the intoxication of your wisdom, then what happens? Andhe naiva niyamana yathanda. Like a blind leading another blind. These are things worth observing. If a blind man touches another person, he takes for granted that the other man sees. A blind man never thinks the other man he touches is blind. So one blind man touched another blind man and he said, Bhai Sahab, I want to cross that way. Will you please take me? So the second blind man knew that this blind man doesn't know that I am blind. Good. Come on. Pakka theek se pakad ke rakhna. So one andha and a second andha. So hum to डूबे हैं सनम, public को भी साथ लेके डूबेंगे. This is how this knowledge become only an objective entertainment or putting our point. Friends, invocation of the inner strength is our total freedom. Nothing outside is required. Nothing. Only be aware and find out the working of your own mind. You will come to know that whenever you have free time, your mind becomes more active. Therefore, never give free time to the mind. Engage the mind. Engagement of the mind is the only technique to control the mind. And for that, again, try to take minimum support from outside. And for that, one of the technique is this. Wherever you are sitting, just observe your own breathing. Observe means what? Just remain aware that the breathing is going on. Don't do anything. Pranayam. Kheench lo. No need. Just sit wherever you are, in the chair, on the bed, it doesn't matter. Sit quiet and try to increase the component of awareness of your experience. Become more and more aware. Now at this stage, you will appreciate this point. When we concentrate on something, it is always other than the self. We are aware about the self. Therefore, in yoga, they give one of the techniques called as Trataka. I am in Kaivalya Dham, and some people come and ask me. I said, I don't subscribe for that Trataka. This is a wrong practice. Do you know that so many yogis do? I said, you go to them. I will not teach you, nor I will prescribe. It is a wrong practice. Those people who do a lot of Trataka, their eyes are frightening. If you want to see the perfect eyes in the whole world, see the eyes even in a picture of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. Those are the eyes through which awareness was peeping out. It was not. No. His eyes have the depth because he lived in awareness. So to train ourselves to live in awareness is start from here. No external support. Wherever you are, in the car, in the bus, except while driving. As if you are driving your awareness. क्या हो गया? Awareness. Gone. No. So when you just start remaining in awareness, now understand this principle. Focus your attention on this index finger. With all sincerity, full attention. Now, you can very clearly experience that you have gone away from yourself and you are landed over here at a distance. Now, the second experiment. Wherever, whatever pose you are sitting, don't disturb yourself. It's perfectly all right. Now, simply remain aware of the breathing that is happening in you. Don't change anything anywhere. Now see the difference. You have a very clear experience that you have gone back from this index finger and you are nearer to your own being. When we thus start living more and more in awareness, mind is dissolved. Such a mind is like the attenuated live virus vaccine. What is the attenuated live virus vaccine? That vaccine is biologically alive, but it doesn't have the potentiality to produce the disease. So that virus, which is attenuated, is able to produce the antibodies in the system, but not the disease. In the same manner, when we start living more and more in awareness, this troubleshooting aspect of the mind gets destroyed, and that aspect of the mind by which we can come in contact with the world remains intact. So our mind has got two aspects. One, it is through the mind only we come in contact with the world, perception. Second aspect, the same mind has uncontrolled projections. Perception followed by projection create problems. Perception, if halts there and no more projections are the supplementary additions, that mind is the most powerful mind. And such a mind is able to see beyond the obvious. Such a mind is able to recognize what an average mind is not able to recognize. Something like the X-rays. Our eyes can go only up to the Vibgyor, not beyond that. But X-rays can peep beyond the spectrum of light waves. In the same manner, this Rutambhara Prajna is that mind which is able to perceive anything without even one projection about anything. That mind is the most powerful mind. It is something like a clean, undisturbed, perfect mirror. When anything or anybody comes in front of such a mirror, there is a perfect reflection of the object. In the same manner, that mind which is perfect, no projection, is able to see the truth. Now what we see is not the truth. The woman is seen, but the mother is imagined. The woman is seen, but the wife is imagined. The woman is seen, but the sister is imagined. And who are creating problem is the mother, the wife, the sister, not the woman. If we can control this habit of the mind, projections non-stop, we have to stop that. So perceive and stop. Mind will automatically drop the wrong habits. Such a mind is the highest inner strength. And that is what is called as shaping of the mind. Now our mind has become so wild. About everything we have got an opinion. About everything we have got an advice. About everything we have got a suggestion. About everything we have to comment. There is no need. And thus, when we start taking care of the health of our mind, such a healthy mind is a creative force. And therefore, friends, we have to take care of this mind. This is the basic difference between our Indian thought and Western thought about the mind. Western thought talks about the unhealthy aspect of the mind. Eastern thought talks about the infinite potentialities which are dormant in the human mind, which we are not using. And therefore, it is extremely necessary that we invoke this. And for the invocation of this, nobody can help us. There is no proxy to live. There is no proxy to die. We have to live our life. We have to die our death. Similarly, we have to practice this. पंडित जी जरा वो मृत्युंजय का जप कर लेना अपने लिए. सेठ जी कितना करना है? कर लो 1 करोड़. अच्छा, कितना मिलेगा मुझे? 100 रुपए देंगे और कितना देंगे? So, by the time the Sethji turns, Panditji says, Sethji हो गया. 1.25 करोड़ is over so quickly. हाँ, 100 रुपए में ऐसे ही होता है. See, for controlling your mind and changing yourself, nobody in the world can help us. Bhagavad Gita says, Uddharedātmanātmānam nātmānam avasadayet Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu Atmaiva Ripuratmana. Nobody will help us. We have to do it all by ourselves. Therefore, let us arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. What is the goal? A cup of tea. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.